June 23, 2016. Britain woke up to a decision that would cost them £140 billion. Every single year. Not from a war. Not from a pandemic. From a vote. 8 years later, America's leading economists are sounding an alarm. The United States is repeating Britain's mistake, but nobody's listening. Same warning signs. Same rhetoric. Same economic suicide. Britain couldn't see it coming. Can America? Act 1, The Autopsy. Let's talk about what Brexit actually did. Not the politics. The numbers. The damage wasn't immediate. It was surgical. Precise. Irreversible. The economic wound, GDP down 6.5% and falling. £140 billion evaporated from the economy annually. Investment collapsed by 11%. Exports dropped 14%. Productivity permanently reduced by 4%. The IMF didn't mince words, they called Brexit a permanent drag on UK growth. Not temporary. Permanent. But here's what makes this terrifying: Britain had every advantage. The world's sixth largest economy. London, the financial capital of Europe. Centuries of trade networks. And they still couldn't stop the bleeding. Act 2, The American Echo. So why are America's top researchers losing sleep over a British referendum from 2016? Because in 2024, the National Bureau of Economic Research published something chilling. The US is now experiencing the closest modern parallel to Brexit through unpredictability in its trade regime. Not through leaving an alliance. Through something more insidious: chaos. Tariffs announced, then reversed, then reimposed. Trade allies one day, adversaries the next. Immigration rules rewritten quarterly. NATO commitments questioned, then reaffirmed, then questioned again. The U.S. Economic Policy Uncertainty Index tells the story. 2023 to 2024 uncertainty reached levels higher than the 2008 financial crisis, higher than post-9/11, higher than early COVID. And here's what that uncertainty does: it freezes the economy. According to the Federal Reserve's 2023 analysis, policy uncertainty forced American firms to delay investment by 11%, hiring by 8%, and research and development by 9%. Shannon Bryant, president of Trade IQ, put it simply: it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. The same phrase British business owners used in 2017. Act 3, The Trade War Reckoning. Let's talk about the trade war. Not the politics, the invoice. The Peterson Institute calculated the damage. Who paid for the tariffs? Not China. American consumers. 100% of the cost. The job loss: 165,000 manufacturing jobs lost compared to projected growth. The GDP hit: 0.3 to 0.4% annual reduction, billions in lost economic output. But it's the small businesses getting crushed. A 2024 survey by the National Federation of Independent Business found 62% say trade compliance is more confusing than ever, 41% report tariff-driven cost increases, and 29% delayed expansion due to policy uncertainty. We don't know what the rules will be next quarter. How do you build a business on that? You don't. You wait. You delay. You survive. Britain's small and medium enterprises said the exact same thing in 2018. Act 4, The Playbook. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Listen to the language. Brexit campaign, 2016, globalization hurts us. Immigrants take our jobs. Foreigners control our destiny. Take back control. U.S. rhetoric, 2016 to 2024, other countries are robbing us. Immigrants are destroying American jobs. International agreements restrict our freedom. America first. Donald Trump, 2016. They will soon be calling me Mr. Brexit. He was right. Just not in the way he intended. Because Brexit didn't restore control, it shattered economic stability and diminished global influence. The politics may be identical, but here's what terrifies economists: the outcome doesn't have to be. Act 5, the difference. Here's the good news: America is not Britain. 3 critical differences. First, trade dependence. UK, 61% of GDP from trade. US, 27% of GDP from trade. Less exposure means slower damage. America has time. Second, the AI revolution. America is leading a technological boom Britain never had. $68 billion in AI investment in 2024, with potential $2 trillion GDP addition by 2030. This is America's buffer. Third, reversibility. Britain can't simply undo Brexit, it's structural, permanent. But Americans can change course through Congress in 2024, 2026, and through the presidency in 2028. The path isn't locked. Yet. Act 6, the real enemy. So, what's the actual threat? Tariffs? Immigration policy? Trade deals? None of the above. The Brookings Institution identified the real killer: uncertainty itself. Not the policies, the unpredictability. When businesses don't know what tariffs come next month, which allies remain partners, which sectors face restrictions, or which supply chains get targeted, they create what economists call a wait-and-see economy. Investment in manufacturing, down 7%. Investment in tech, down 5%. Investment in export states, down 10%. The Brexit study's key finding: uncertainty caused more damage than the regulations themselves. Britain learned this the hard way. America is getting a preview. Closing, the choice. Brexit wasn't a catastrophe. It was a slow bleed. Not a single day of collapse, but a decade of diminishment. The warning signs were there: the fear-based politics, the promise of restored greatness, the dismissal of expert analysis. Britain ignored them. Today, American economists see the same patterns. The same uncertainty. The same rhetoric. The same trajectory. The question isn't whether Brexit damaged Britain, that's settled. The question is whether America recognizes the pattern before it's too late. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does offer warnings. Britain had no precedent to learn from. America does.